Hey guys, how do you like this? Look what I have here. Duke likes that, but you know what? He likes Dan better. He doesn't want to stay by Bubba. He wants to go by Dan. See how he does? Well, you know, I don't know. What do you think? See how he's getting anxious? He doesn't want to stay with Bubba. What are we going to do about that? Oh, I think Dan spoiled him. What do you think? I don't know. I spoil him pretty much too, but he doesn't listen to me. Anyway, you know, when Bubba was a little girl, she lived in a mining town. You know what a mining town is? That's where all the daddies worked in the mines. They had to go inside like a big hill. There was a big hole, and they had cars that ran by electricity, and they took all these men in these little cars, and they went into the hill really far, and they had to dig the coal so we could heat our houses. And the big trains came into our town, and where we lived, across the street from us, that's where some of the cars would sit until they needed to take it to the tipple to put coal in it, so they could take it to other towns. And my grandma and grandpa had a store, so you know that's pretty yummy. So you know what Bubba used to do. Bubba used to go down and get in the candy. And I used to eat candy. And you know what? They made homemade ice cream, of all things to have around you. So Bubba used to have ice cream. And we used to get I got 2 big dips free. But when people came in to buy ice cream, they had to pay a nickel to get 2 dips. And it was really good ice cream. So when Bubba would go to school, Bubba lived right behind Grandma and Grandpa's house. So I would go into Grandma and Grandpa's house, walk through the house, go down the stairs, and go into the store, and then I would take candy. And I would jump over the pop machine to go out the door, because the pop machine wasn't like pop machines are today. They were lower. They were almost like a little table, and you had to put a big hunk of ice in there to keep the pop cold. So Bubba would jump over, and out the door I'd go. Nobody knew I took that pop. But my grandma, sometimes, she was sitting on a little bench behind the candy counter, and she would see me take candy, but she never said I couldn't have it. And you used to get a lot of candy for a penny, but I didn't put no pennies in there. Bubba used to just take it, because her grandma allowed her to take it, so I would take it, and out the door I'd go, and I would go to school. And I had to walk far, even further away than Joe has his school. And we had to walk up hills and down hills, just like your school is. But we had train tracks, too, that we had to cross over. And you know, those trains are pretty big when you're little. And they would be coming, and they were steam, and they would blow that steam out, and we'd make them blow their horns. They'd blow their horns at us. And you know, we couldn't get across the train tracks because it blocked the way we went to school. But we still had to get to school. But anyway, we got there. I'm not telling you how, but we did get there. And we had a lot of hills to climb. And you know, our school was on top of a hill. You know what we used to do in the wintertime? We wore snow pants, and we'd get on our butt and slide down the hill. So we had to watch so we didn't make holes in our snow pants, because when you get home and you had holes in your snow pants, that wasn't too good. Your mother and daddy didn't like that. But, you know, we still did it because we had a lot of fun. So that was a fun time, and snow was deep. But, you know, when you're little, snow seems deeper than what it really is because you're little. So if it's coming up to your knees, it's like, wow, this is really deep. But if Mommy and Daddy would stand out in it, it's not that far up on their legs. So that was a lot of fun, I'm sure. And we used to throw snowballs at one another. Oh, my goodness, the things we did. And you know what else I did when I was in grade school? My girlfriend, she lived very close to the school. It wasn't far. Well, their dog had 10 puppies. So guess what Bubba did? We used to go home for lunch. We had to go home for lunch. So on the way home, Bubba took all those 10 puppies home with her in a box. When I got home for lunch, somebody wasn't too happy. Why did I bring home 10 puppies? Well, they wanted to give them away. So I brought them home. Well, you know, we go back to school then. We'd eat our lunch and we had to go back to school and we had to walk all that way back up to school. So when I went home in the evening, you know, it wasn't evening, it was early afternoon because we got out of school kind of early. When I went home, I was told I had to take those puppies back because we couldn't have, what would we do with 10 puppies? So one of our neighbors took one of the dogs, and my mother, she said, okay, we'll keep one. So we did. We kept one, and it was a good dog, but I had to take all those puppies back. And, you know, Uncle Smitty always likes to remind me how I brought 10 puppies home one time. Isn't that funny? I don't think you would do that, would you? Don't ask why I did it, because they wanted to give it away, and I thought, why not? We could have that at our house. That's not such a good thing, is it? But the puppies were really cute. So there was a lot of fun when Bubba was a little girl. I was a lucky girl to have a grandma and grandpa with a store because I could eat a lot of ice cream and I ate a lot of candy. And I did drink pop, too. I'll have to admit that. There was more Coca-Cola pop than there was with all this pop you have today. You have so many different kinds of pop. We didn't have all that because that was a long time ago. I guess you know, Bubba did get old this year. She got 80, so you know, that's a long time ago when I was a little girl. But you'll have to remember that story. I think it's a fun story. Maybe sometime I'll tell you some other stories. Maybe when I was in high school, we moved up on the farm, and I'll tell you some stuff when we were up on the farm. Things that I did that you probably don't do. And I know somebody has chickens, and we used to have chickens too. But we had the cow there too. And I'll tell you about that sometime. I love you guys. Hope you enjoy the story. Toodaloo!